Okay. Make sure we're All right. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Carlito Santiago. Hopefully I can get Lewis here on Saturday. But for now, it's just me today. Of course, Monday Night Raw was yesterday, and it was a spectacular episode. It felt more round-based. It felt more like a full circle. I do call these full circle shows. What full circle shows are basically like it has a starting point, and then it goes into a full circle, and it goes right back to that exact point. So like we started with Rollins, and then we ended with Rollins, practically. 1 week after an explosive Raw after WrestleMania, WWE rolled into the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, with a show featuring Seth fucking Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Backbreaker, plus a showdown between Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez. We first had to, of course, talk about the future of WWE, or pro wrestling in the WWE, as it runs through Seth Rollins, the winner of the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event, as he informed fans at the top of the show. Now, I want to shout out Eric Beeston for the Bleacher Report, of course. Thank you. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, comment down below, drop a fucking like, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a stream. The Visionary was then interrupted by Sami Zayn. The underdog from the underground criticized Rollins by claiming the collection of supporters he is I'm bad at reading. We're gonna say insulating. The underdog from the underground criticized Rollins by claiming the collection of supporters he is insulating himself with is no different than what Roman Reigns did with the Bloodline, and what, of course, he suggested the heel was jealous of Punk. I guess, sure. Denouncing Zayn's claims, Rollins told the former Intercontinental Champion that he had until the end of the night to decide whether he is buying into what the group are selling, or leave Raw and go to SmackDown. This was a solid enough segment, setting up a storyline for the rest of the show and putting Zayn, one of the great sympathetic babyfaces in WWE history, in a position where he had to make a decision that could change his career. The future of this industry runs through Seth freaking Rollins, he said. Zayn told Rollins, claiming jealousy drove his hatred of Reigns and Punk. Maybe you just wanted to be in the position that they were in. Okay, good claim. This was great to B+. Honestly, this show just felt more filler. This show felt very filler compared to last week. But sometimes filler is good. We then hit off with Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez in a dream match between two of the best in the world today. Of course, got to insert CM Punk in there too. But if it was a woman. Okay, AJ Lee. Rhea Ripley squared off with the former NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. The prodigy targeted the knee of the Australian, looking to take out her base, while Mommy utilized her strength advantage to overpower Perez and toss her around the squared circle. Perez held her own against the former Women's World Champion, but Ripley rolled late on until Julia interfered and drew a DQ. You're really going to piss me off now. You're really going to piss me off at the first match. Is that what we're doing, WWE? Okay. Say less. The NXT exports beat down the Eradicator until Io Sky hit the ring to make the save. The heels got the better of her before Ripley chased them off, and with the Raw Superstars standing tall to close out the segment. This was a strong match between two immensely talented performers, and while it may not have had a suitable finish, it did further a blossoming rivalry involving standard bearers for excellence across the company's 3 women's divisions. More importantly, it creates intrigue surrounding Ripley and Sky's ability to get along when the former is chasing the latter's women's WWE World Championship. So, you got that. So, Ripley defeated Perez by disqualification, and honestly, you know how I feel about DQs, unless done right. WWE didn't really have to book themselves on a corner here. It was pretty obvious. You could have had Rhea Ripley score a quick win, and then set up a post-match attack, and then have Io Sky come out and fucking do all this. But instead, you had to draw a DQ to get us, you know, wherever you needed to. Ruined a great match between Io and Stephanie Valkyria just to give us another DQ. Quit with the fucking DQs if you don't know how to use them. Ripley hurled Perez into the guardrail twice, overpowering her to counter the Prodigy's attack on her lower body. Kips. Get wrecked. No, we could be setting up for a tag team match between these guys, you know, Rip. But at the same time, maybe not. I mean, we're already got a few matches listed for Backlash, and one of them could be coming to us right about now. Because Jey Uso and Logan Paul, they were on a collision course. You see, off the heels of a victory over AJ Styles at WrestleMania 41, Mr. Logan Paul, ladies and gentlemen, took to the ring to address his future intentions, which were, I want a title shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Mind you. Give me a sec. Hold on. I've never done this before, but give me a sec. This is the same man that made me buy this Prime. Now, I could be a spokesman, Mr. Logan Paul, for your Prime. I could boost you up if I had if I had more subscribers and more people to watch my shit. I could definitely promote this top notch. But I can't do that. I don't want to get hit with copyrights, and I don't want to get hit with false advertisement. So, Jey Uso interrupted and said he was not going to hand over the title after years of hard work to an entitled YouTuber like myself. I'm not that entitled, it's okay. Paul claimed the champion would lose the World Championship quicker than the Intercontinental Championship, and Uso answered with a super kick that left the social media star lying to close out the segment. Paul is the perfect first opponent for Uso because he is no threat to the champion's popularity and can lose a match without losing heat. He's one of those heels who will always enrage fans and be an effective villain as a result. It's that easy. He could say how bad a state is or how bad a crowd is, and he gets booed. Uso beating him at a premium live event allows him to build momentum early in his title run and move on to the feuds that will ultimately define his reign. It also keeps him away from Seth Rollins, who would seem to be the endgame for Uso at some point in the summer. SummerSlam, I do see Seth Rollins winning the World Heavyweight Championship back. Again, the future of the company. Braun Breaker possibly winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Mark this episode as my word to that. Braun Breaker may win the Money in the Bank while Seth Rollins wins the World Heavyweight, and you see Paul Heyman favor Braun Breaker. A scary fucking scene to see. This was definitely graded an A, and I hope WWE books this in the right way of having Uso and Paul go at it. It's top notch. They showed great fire and intensity here. More importantly, he made it clear the new side of himself is not going away just because he beat Gunther. He is Usi. Usi, juicy, fruity. No, he's a bit Usi. Anyway, we had a tag team match, of course, as we had the War Raiders take on the team of Finn Balor and JD McDonough. JD McDonough made a mistake by costing Penta the Intercontinental Championship. A week ago on Raw, the Masked Superstar returned the favor by interfering in his and Finn Balor's match with the War Raiders. What was an otherwise action-packed showdown came to a screeching halt when Penta shoved JD McDonough off the top rope, setting him up to endure the War Machine, leaving Eric and Ivar to remain the top contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. A solid match, including the latest of Penta's budding rivalry with the Judgment Day, made this a worthwhile addition to the show. Bonus points for the New Day's excellence on commentary, where Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston had some killer lines. Kingston was excellent on commentary, giving props to Eric, Ivar, and McDonough for all returning from a career-threatening injury while sniping at Big E without mentioning his name. It's admirable, right? Of course. Now, I agree. Again, like I said, the New Day holding the tag team titles. Expect the chase to begin. The chase after gold is better than the reign itself. Let's be honest. It's the journey we got to take to get there. So expect that to be the case. You know, expect the War Raiders. Expect Alpha Academy. Expect the Creed Brothers. Expect basically the tag team to be wanting to get more competition. They expect the Judgment Day to get in there for tag team gold because that's what they want. They want gold. Everybody wants gold, but nobody can have gold. This is great to be, and I agree. Backstage though, Paul Heyman was able to sit down with Sami Zayn and say, "Hey, listen, buddy. I'm a man who can pull strings here." Now, everybody in the back is able to pull strings, and it's interesting of who talked to who. Sami Zayn would be encountered by 3 people. 2 people who like to pull strings, and 1 person who doesn't. He doesn't even pull punches. Paul Heyman sat with Sami Zayn, told him that if he agrees to trade to SmackDown, that with how much Rollins thinks of him, the winner of Orton and Cena, I'll get you a WWE Championship match on SmackDown. All you got to do is go to SmackDown, buddy. I can pull some strings. I can pull out some digits. I can pull up some digits. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Yes, hello, Sami Zayn. I want Sami Zayn to have a World Championship match. Yeah, make it official. It's official. Paul Heyman can do a lot of things. He can pull people's phone numbers. He can pull strings in the WWE. I'm telling you, that's how good of a Hall of Famer he is. He also makes guys feel relevant. And having 2 guys at the same fucking time, we got a problem here. We got a Braun Breaker and a Seth Rollins problem. Anyway, the man has come around to addressing her actions, something that Bayley should have done. You really think I'm going to let that go? Fuck you. No, I'm not going to let that shit go. Bayley should have done this shit, but no, he didn't want to do that. So, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get bullshit. Just like you're giving me bullshit, feeding me bullshit. I'm going to take it and I'm going to throw it right back at you. So, on the heels of her shocking actions towards Lyra Valkyria, apparently she is the one who attacked Bayley. No. Don't fucking give me that shit. We're tired of that. I'm tired of that shit. Now, she admitted she was the one who attacked Bayley, leaving her unable to compete at WrestleMania. She blamed the role model for attacking her for years since 2019 and claimed she tried to convince Lyra Valkyria to drop her, but she wouldn't listen. This drew out the Valkyrie, who refused to admire Lynch and issued a challenge for a match at Backlash with the title on the line. This was the right direction to head with the man. She held Bayley accountable for her previous actions while also being an insufferable heel who propped herself up as a big star and seemed to take great pride in her attack. Valkyrie also shined in a rare opportunity for her to cut a lengthy, meaningful promo against her opponent. She weathered the what chance nicely and had the fans on her side by the end of it. A huge test she passed with flying colors. Check. Now we're on to St. Louis. It's kind of funny too, because in the promo, I don't know if they have it here. Yeah, right here. The man only wrestles when it matters, and it doesn't matter here in Kansas City, but it's gonna matter in St. Louis, apparently. You're still in fucking Missouri, bitches. I mean, this is fucking stupid. No. But, again, this actually was a pretty good promo. This was a stellar promo from two women who have an accent. I am very sick. I'm sorry if you hear me, like, snuffling and coughing. Anyway, moving on. Stephanie Valkyria. Valkyria? I don't know. Valkyria and Ivy Nile had a match. Before the match, a video package featuring Rusev laid out the motivation for his returns to fix the arrogant, like he fixed himself during his exile from WWE. No more women, no more Russian flags. It's all about me. Rusev Day reigns. Dude, honestly, Rusev's feeling more like old Doyle here, dude, from fucking... He's feeling like old Doyle from Billy Madison. Old Doyle rules! Back in the arena, though, our NXT Women's Champion, Stephanie Valkyria, continued her incredible run of late battling Ivy Nile in a singles competition. La Primera, I don't know what the fuck I just said in Spanish, but okay, weathered the onslaught thrown at her by her opponent. An interference from, of course, Chad Gable, a.k.a. El Grande Americano. I didn't say anything. To Best Nile and pin her following the SVB. The SVB? Anyway, this did not appear to be the beginning of a rivalry of any kind, but rather an excuse to keep Valkyria on TV. Or, Valkyria. Fuck. I mean, Valkyria. To keep Valkyria on television and in front of the WWE audience. She is a star of the immediate future, so it makes sense that the creative team would want her on as many of the company's TV properties as possible. Based on the reaction for her in Kansas City, it was working. Except the NXT Women's Champion is to be a member of the main roster sooner rather than later, so she probably will be losing her title against whoever's next coming. Gable also saved the match more than once for Nile, providing a distraction for his protege and helping her evade defeat. This is arguably probably the best Nile looked in months. Especially hanging in there with an elite opponent that never looked out of place against Valkyria. Man, come on. You're being too nice to Nile, man. You're being too nice. Stop being too nice. I love Nile. Nile's a pretty good wrestler. I'm not going to lie. She's also good in other ways. But this was great to be, and I agree. Pat McAfee address Gunther. I don't know why I say it that loud. I'm sorry. So, following the events of last week's show, if you guys don't remember, Gunther brutally assaulted Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, grabbing Michael Cole by the throat and choking him out before Pat McAfee makes a save and knocks a one. It knocks him loose in the jaw until Gunther locks him in a chokehold that kind of like cuts off oxygen. Sleeper hold, basically. Following the events of that, which saw him be choked out by Gunther, Pat McAfee climbed on top of the announce table and said, "Hey, yo, listen up. I don't know about you guys, but this is what I'm about. I'm about to make it very clear. Ain't nobody gonna step to my boy, Michael Cole, my dog, my homie. Ain't nobody gonna do that. I'll die. I'll keep fighting. I'll die fighting. I ain't going down. I will go down swinging like a motherfucker." And Gunther wants to stand here and think he can put his hands on me and Michael Cole. Fuck that. He requested Nick Aldis, who was filling in for Adam Pearce, to come out and lift Gunther's band so he could beat his ass. Instead, the stand-in GM said, "I knew you were going to do that, so I talked to Pearce. No, fuck you. We're not lifting the suspension ban. We're not. He is still suspended indefinitely. But I do have something better in mind we had talked about. A possible sanctioning of a match between you and Gunther. Now, if that's what you want, if that's what Kansas City here, if this is what the people of Missouri want, like old time's sakes, you better give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, you didn't need the crowd to give him a hell yeah, Pat McAfee said, deal, I agree, and then dropped it as that. Between Paul getting a title shot against Jay and McAfee squaring off with Gunther, this May 10th PLE is shaping up to be something. McAfee has expressed has been impressive between the ropes more times than not. And if there is anyone who can get the best out of him in the ring, it is the Ling General Gunther. Love him or loathe him, McAfee's a great talker when focused, and his work here avoided moving into absurd. This worked better than it had any right to. Michael Cole got Michael Cole chance. To Michael Cole, I will be loyal until I'm in the soil. Word for word, Pat McAfee said. He also said motherfucker and fuck that, and it got censored. Rightfully so. There's kids watching. But maybe within like the second hour, or maybe the last hour and a half, maybe you should lessen up on the swearing. Backstage, though, Uso told Zayn he believed he would make the right decision. Also, Karrion Kross was backstage, too, because Karrion Kross likes to pull strings and be the puppeteer for all madness. But Uso told Zayn backstage that he believes that he would make the right decision. As the latter walked off, Uso turned right into a knockout punch by Paul, who got the last laugh on Monday night. So we could be looking at a Logan Paul, Jey Uso match, despite an impressive plea from Rollins to Zayn to take the pass and go to SmackDown. Zayn turned it down, found himself placed in a match with the man who defeated him for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam 2024, Braun Breaker. The consequences of Zayn's decision manifested themselves rather quickly as Breaker punished him physically, overpowering him throughout the main event of the show. Zayn showed off some resilience, though, that he usually does. That has been a trademark of his character for years. But it was not enough for Breaker to steamroll the defiant babyface. With 3 spears before adding a final super spear on the floor, Rollins, frustrated and angry that his friend refused him, deserved a stomp to leave Zayn lying as the show went off the air. Now, again, the match ended, basically the referee stopped it. So TKO, you could say. Referee stopped it. This was an effective way to highlight the new heel faction against a guy in Zayn who is a beloved by the W Universe as anyone in the wrestling today. It will be interesting to see if this will lead to Zayn versus Rollins at Backlash. No, it won't. Or if someone else will emerge to defend Zayn against the Visionary. Probably Punk. But again, unless Zayn wants to fight back and get some more, no, I don't think Zayn's going to fight Rollins at Backlash. Do think Rollins needs a match at Backlash, though. It should be Punk or Reigns, or even the tag team match that we could possibly getting, or maybe not. Again, this was graded an A, and I agree with this. Pat McAfee's promo should be an A as well. To really come out and feel like an actual person, you know? The fact that you don't believe in me, that hurts, Rollins said. If you stay on Raw and you don't believe in me, bad things are going to happen to you, and I love you, and I don't want that to happen. I mean, Visionary does care. He does. Right? But if that means that Rollins has to be the front and center of this all, then no, really. As a friend, I respect you. I love you. But this is me telling you to go to hell. This is between 2 good friends of each other who don't want to, who one doesn't want to see the other one get hurt over the bad things. But again, Rollins said before the show went off the air, before he curb stomped him, he said, and I quote, "He made his bed and now he's going to lie in it." It just shows that Rollins does not care. He's moved on from this now. As much as his warning, he's already solidified his choice. So that's what he's going to get. Overall, this was an interesting episode, and like I said, it's a full circle episode. It started with Rollins, Zayn, and Breaker. It ended with Rollins, Zayn, and Breaker. This was kind of more, and it was also kind of filler and a prep setup for Backlash, May 10th. Ladies and gentlemen, my predictions will be on next week. You'll get the SmackDown summary this Saturday. 2 matches named official, McAfee and Gunther, if Gunther agrees, and Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch for the IC title, women's IC title. and other prospective rivalries presenting themselves, such as Uso and Paul, and of course, possible tag team match between Rollins and Breaker and Roman and Punk, but we don't know yet. Some work more than others, but there was a clear creative direction, which was missing amid a mid-card shuffling leading into WrestleMania. That is good enough for this week's broadcast to receive a passing grade as Triple H and Co. get back to the consistent creative that defined this regime early on, and I agree. Graded a B+. I'm adding the plus there because of Pat McAfee's promo work and because of how excellent WWE's been going on off of pay-per-views and into another ones, following up with great storytelling and long-term booking. It might not make sense now, but it will later. And that's the best thing that it is. Now, even in the real world, I'm not looking for long-term. What I'm looking for is some good to come out of this. And all of what we've seen here has been good from the WWE. And it continues to grow and grow and grow. And I continue to grow and grow and grow. And come back here and tell you about this shit. But this was Monday Night Raw. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I think this was a pretty good show, honestly. Also, I hope you guys like the setup. Honestly, I did the whole red. Got red here, got it white here so you guys can see my face. But, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Monday Night Raw. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are there things that you didn't like? Let me know. Again, I will be back to do the Saturday. I'll be back to do the SmackDown summary, possibly with Lewis, if he's up for it. Predictions next Thursday, of course. And yeah, you'll get the review of Backlash on Sunday, the 11th? Yeah, Mother's Day. Wow, holy fuck. Okay. Yeah. Until then, I will see you guys later.